Sounds
Or
good.
hot dog, right? Bun, mac and cheese on
On
top.
top.
Come on,
Ooh,
son.
yes.
Maybe some bacon bits on top.
The Take Care Men podcast is intended for educational purposes and not intended to be personal medical, therapeutic, or counseling advice from us or any guest to you. Watching or listening to the podcast or getting answers to questions does not establish a therapist-patient relationship and is not suitable for advice, diagnosis, or treatment regarding medical or mental health conditions. Perhaps these videos or podcast episodes can help you prepare for your discussion with your doctor or therapist. If you are in need of immediate help, please consult our resources at takecareman.com/help. Thank you and enjoy the podcast.
Hello. We're back, and we're making a habit out of regular episodes. So last week we spoke to Mel. Go on, Todd.
Oh, Cayenne.
Cayenne, yeah.
Cayenne. Mm-hmm.
And that's not meant to be any disrespect to you, Mel. I'm just terrible at pronouncing names. But this week's guest, it's an easy one to pronounce. So this week we have got Greg the Bastard Tardif. And I say that in the nicest of possible ways. I'm sure that Greg does have a father or has had a father at some point in his time. So he's not a complete bastard, but we affectionately call him the bastard in the wet shaving community because he puts us all to shame with his content. So we're pleased to have Greg Tardif on board this week. So Greg, how's it going?
Well, I just want to. Nobody's aside from you, Andy, has called me the bastard. So I think it's just you, and I'm gonna keep my rose-colored glasses on for that. But if anybody wants to call me a bastard to my face, let's do that. And yes, I do have a daddy, and he's probably watching this and laughing that I just called him daddy.
Yeah, well, I said it's meant in the most affectionate way. So yeah, how's your week been? It's obviously Friday, end of the week. We made it to another week, so well done. Or made it to the end of another week.
Yeah, definitely a good week. It was hot. We had some quasi tornado warnings. We had some hail.
Some quasi tornado. Wow.
Tornado warnings.
What does that mean?
Pretty. It was like a tornado watch that could have turned into a tornado warning. I made up the quasi.
Tornado adjacent. Tornado
like
adjacent.
You're panicking about something that might not happen.
Yeah, and my 4-year-old was watching the news with the weatherman. And she was like, "We're gonna get a tornado," and then like 20 minutes later, she was like, "They just said it's probably just gonna pass by." I was like, "Okay, thanks for the update."
In all seriousness, I guess it is a bit of a worry. I mean, we don't have to really worry about that in the UK with tornadoes whipping past the front door, but I guess out there in the US, and depending on where you live, it is a regular occurrence. So yeah. I'm glad
you guys just get like dragon warnings, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we all walk around with like swords and shields and attempting to slay the dragon.
Yeah. Okay. So it hasn't changed since.
No doubt.
No, nothing's changed. That's just a typical day in the UK. So yeah. Todd, how about you? How's your week been?
Good. It's as always hot. Heat advisory here in West Tennessee, otherwise known as hell. And this is kind of a tough week for me. Like a bittersweet week as a dad. So I just finished a 2-day orientation for my daughter starting college. And so that's exciting, but also it's like, how did she grow up so fast? Like, how did this happen?
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Let's not get too excited till she gets a degree. And then we'll she's
How
already
far away is she going from home?
About 15 miles. So yeah. So I don't know if we'll be able to handle it.
Gone
forever. It's funny because the people are wanting to know if she's going to stay in the dorms, but she's an only child. And so you can judge me later about our parenting, but we basically gave her our master bedroom when she was like 12. because
Wow.
she built out this whole YouTube studio and all this kind of stuff. And we're just like, you know what? She's the queen. We shall move to the guest bedroom. And so she would have a really hard time transitioning to dorm life after living in a master bedroom and having her own bathroom. So she's going to be attending the school where I teach, and I get a really nice tuition discount, which if you've looked at the cost of college these days, it'll be very nice to be able to have a discount. So anyway, exciting week for her, and she's looking forward to getting started. She got registered for all her classes today. So yeah.
See, that's the advantage of being an only child. You get everything thrown at you. Whereas I got 3 kids, and they're lucky if they got a bucket to piss in. So yeah,
they have to share it.
But yeah, so I know it's good. It's good. It's you guys are a little bit quieter during the summer, aren't you? Especially you, Todd, with what is it? Seminars? Not seminars. What do they call it? Where they have
classes? Classes. Yeah,
classes.
Yeah. I've got a couple online classes, but I don't have to go into the office. I can not wear pants. I can just wear shorts. So yeah,
that's pretty risky though. You just forget that one time and you stand up.
I know. Yeah. It's the Zoom
Not
life.
your uncle, as they say in England.
True story. So yeah, it's good to have you here, Greg. So I guess we'll fly straight into the giveaways. So we haven't missed a couple of episodes. Obviously, the Mel episode will be out next week, Monday, I think we said, didn't we? So that's ready to go. But obviously, it's a bit of a double rollover. So anybody that listened to the Lather Talk episode, if you entered that, you'll be in with a chance of winning twice. So I don't know if you've noticed any entries for the US, Todd.
I haven't as of yet, but to be fair, I haven't scoured all of our social media accounts yet.
Did my comment on the Take Care Men YouTube website, did that count?
Well, it didn't, because you didn't say you were in.
Oh, but I told you how I did on the test.
Oh, that's good.
I said it wasn't good.
Basically, what Andy's saying is we have 3 weeks of giveaways to give away, and so probably whoever's the next, it's going to be an extravaganza of giveaways in the next episode. And so it's quite possible, Greg, that you may be a winner, but we just don't know that yet. We can't reveal that.
It's a triple rollover in the US, but obviously we've only had one entry from the UK and the rest of the world, and that was Adam Brazendale, aka the Ink Shaver, on Instagram. So Adam, congratulations, you've won 2 weeks worth of giveaways. So you've got I've shot myself in the foot now, because I have to give him like a £40 gift card for Apocalypse Grooming and the HCNC stuff. So yeah, Adam, get in touch with me and I'll sort you out, brother. So yeah, congratulations. See, you've got to be in it to win it. So yeah, same rules as always for the giveaway. Obviously, we've got 2 giveaways, one for the US and one for UK and the rest of the world. All you have to do is comment "I'm in," Greg. Somewhere within your comment, and you can be within the chance of winning. So we've got the US, we've got the Razor Company gift card, and we've got the Crown and Kane gift card. And then for the UK and the rest of the world, we've got a £20 Apocalypse Grooming gift card and some stuff from HCNC. So yeah, make sure you're in it to win it, guys, because just like Mr. Brazendale, he's won 2 weeks worth of prizes. So yeah.
So I'm in it to win it.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing from Greg is that he recently watched the episode with Lather Talk with John, where both you and John lost your Star Wars fan cards by doing very poorly at Obi-Wan Kenobi trivia, which I'm going to assume Greg did better at. I'm going to assume he scored better than the 2 of you.
I got 3 right.
Oh no. This is ridiculous.
Those prequels were just so bad.
No, they're not. They're amazing.
Jar Jar Binks ruined it.
Whatever. Jar Jar's amazing.
Jar Jar. I don't mind Jar Jar. Everybody gives Jar Jar a bad name, but he's just an odd character. But that's Star Wars.
The CGI was bad. I'll give you that. But I'm loving the new Obi-Wan series. We won't open that can of worms, but I'm loving it. That's great. Yeah.
I'm only halfway through the third episode. So yeah, I'm going to watch the rest of that tonight. But yeah, all you have to do is comment "I'm in." Feel free to add more to comment on any of our social media platforms, we've got the new YouTube channel, which is Take Care Men podcast. We'll put a link in there. We've got obviously the Instagram account, which is the Take Care Men pod, and obviously the Take Care Man website where you can comment as well. I'll also post the links to the videos on my own Instagram account, the Opinionate Brit. I'm sure Todd will do the same. So any of those, just comment I'm in, and you can be with a chance of winning. So Todd, do you want to talk about the Discord?
Yeah. So speaking of takecareman.com, if you go over there and click on group, it'll take you to our Discord server, which Greg's actually jumped in. He and I are been discussing the woes of being CPAP therapy recipients and what it's like to wear a CPAP mask at night. So if that sounds fun to you and other things, we've set that up to basically be a way to, be sort of the support discussion board, to sort of share stuff that's going on, maybe, good things that's going on in your life, stuff you're struggling with, things you need help with, just a place to be supported there. We're still working on trying to have some regular video hangouts on that Discord server, but also if you're not interested in that, you just want to pop in and, be a part of the discussion, then feel free to do so. So yeah, you just going over to takecareman.com, click on group, and that'll take you to the Discord server so that you can join us on that.
In my defense, I have tried to join the server and it says it doesn't exist. So it's not like I'm not interested in our own server. But
have you tried the new link on takecareman.com/group?
No, but I shall do that tonight. Yeah.
I think the other link expired. So
yeah, I think that's what it said. So make sure you head over to Discord. We're not just going to talk about mental health. You can trash talk Greg if you want, or me.
Talk about CPAPs with me.
CPAPs, yeah, exactly.
I may start a hot dog thread there.
Yeah.
Anything. We're game fair to talk about anything. Anyway, enough of that. We're here obviously with Greg Tardif. Greg, do you want to tell us a little bit about you, what you do, where you come from, all that good stuff?
Sure. My name's Greg Tardif. My middle name is actually my dad's name, so keep that in mind. I was born
the bastard?
Yeah. That's his name. That's what he goes by. So I should respond with, no, that's my father when you call me the bastard.
Oh, there you go.
No, but I was born in Rhode Island. I lived in Massachusetts for some time. So that's why Lather Hog is my boy, because he's in Massachusetts. And then I moved to South Dakota in the middle of my 4th grade. So I was like, 10, 8. Depends on which time it was 4th grade. And then I ended up in Virginia, middle of 8th grade. And lived there up until 3 years ago when we moved out to Wisconsin.
Nice.
Nice.
And what do you do for a living? Because that's a bit of a mystery. See, I don't even know that. All I know is you make cool like wet shaving videos. So what do you do for a living? How do you support your wet shaving addiction?
I support my wet shaving addiction through affiliate links in my videos and my but also but I support my family and such. My wife works too, so I don't want to shortchange her. She does a lot of work. But I do account management for dealerships, car dealerships, and make sure they don't make sure they use our product right, and if they're ready for the next step in our partnership, then I'll set them up with that.
Nice.
So it's a little account maintenance, a little sales, a little pizzazz, I guess you could say.
There you go. If you need some account management doing with Greg, then get in touch. And you own a car dealership, easy man. So obviously this podcast is predominantly about men's mental health. Talk to us a little bit about your mental health experience. Have you suffered as a result of a specific event, or just in general day-to-day life? What's your experience of mental health?
Yeah. So, and I've been thinking about this ever since I reached out to Todd. I was like, hey, I want to be on your show, because it's hard to just say this is it, right? And as a child, like one of the toughest things that I dealt with was just bottling everything up. and just keeping it in and keeping it in, and then finally pulling my headphones out of my ear. Keeping it in and then finally just exploding and just unloading on people. And I found that didn't help anybody. So in this given time, maybe the last 20 years or so, like if something kind of pisses me off even just a small bit, I'll let that person know immediately that I don't like that and I don't appreciate it. And I feel like that helps diffuse a lot of that type of situations. And it lets everybody know where I stand with them. And if I don't say anything to you and you did piss me off, you didn't matter anyways.
Now I'm really conscious that I've been calling you the bastard and you haven't said anything, so maybe it don't matter. Maybe I'm not important.
I said it at the beginning. I think something about how it didn't matter, but I asked the people that were saying it behind my back to say it to my face.
Yeah, it's a pet name. It's not meant in any malice, and I'm a big believer in treating people how I'd expect to be treated, you know what I mean? So I guess maybe it's a dangerous line to toe because I don't know you personally, and you may take an offense to that, but I'd expect.
No, I would have let you know.
Yeah, well, that's what I'd expect you to let me know. So yeah, I do channel my inner child quite a lot. I am quite a childish person, and I try not to be on this podcast, but it's just my way of showing affection to people. So yeah, don't take it personally. If anybody else finds me calling them a bastard or a fucking whore or something like that, don't take it as offense. And
other
that's
terms of endearment.
Yeah, I've been called worse just today, you know.
There you go.
So a lot of it. Go on, Todd. Yeah,
I was just gonna say. So I'm hearing that that your tendency was a sort of stuff anger, like if somebody did something, you just kind of looked over it, kind of pushed it down, didn't let it out, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and would just kind of unload once it finally filled up, and even if it wasn't the person that I was holding that anger for, I would just direct it to the closest person that pissed me off the last, and that wasn't conducive for any types of relationships. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, that was not great, and I used to hide eating a lot of food, so that wasn't good. Now I just do it in the open. I eat a lot of food in the open, which I think is better. I'm okay with who I am. But there is a level of gluttony that I have to deal with on my own. That's something that I'm currently kind of working through with, like, just stop drinking at 6 beers and not have to go to 24 beers. That's one of the things that I'm dealing with right now, that I'm trying to just like get a grasp on it, because I don't know if you guys have felt like this during the pandemic, like you work until 4 or 5 and then after that it's like, no, I'm just going to drink until I go to sleep because I feel like garbage and I don't have to go anywhere anyways. But now we can like go places, so might as not get fixnoodled. Yeah,
fixated.
I was just gonna say get totally hammered. Fixnoodled.
Fish noodles. I never heard that.
I think the pandemic was a challenge for a lot of people, particularly people that have addictive personality disorders or, whatever people's drugs of choice are. Like you're right. Like people, were kind of trapped in their own houses and, just a bit of cabin fever, if you will, and not, knowing what to do. And I think it was tough on marriages in some cases for people, because the normal ebbs and flows of life of people, like being away from each other, then being back together, but being stuck with people, while we might do that for a limited time during vacations and what have you, but then for an extended period of time during the pandemic, that's tough. It's tough just to, maintain that kind of ebb and flow.
Yeah. And that was definitely tough because like my wife and I both worked from home up until very recently. So at the end of the day, once we got our daughter down, we basically had nothing to talk about because we've spent every day with each other for the past 3 years.
Yeah. So yeah, the normal question of what did you do today? If you're right by each other, that was just a mute. Yeah. Nobody.
Yeah.
What can you talk about?
We did an office swap like halfway through, which was kind of fun. which brought me into the basement basically.
Wow.
And so it's my little playground at this point.
And she hasn't let you out since then, right?
Yeah. Well, she kept getting sick of me talking about how nice it was because I was in our guest room and we have a window, and I was also working in my closet at that time, which I was like super excited about because it was just kind of this little fun little space that I had my desk and did work from, but I could also see out the window. And she was like, I'm getting really like claustrophobic down here. I can't see if it's nice out. I can't, just want to get out of here. So then we switched. So we did, at least we had that conversation.
So in the space between 6 beers and 24, is that, you think some of that's like self-medicating, like boredom or anxiety, or what do you think's going on there?
I don't know. So like for me, like I have a Diet Coke right now, right? I could have 50 of these right now if I just kept sitting down and drinking. So it doesn't matter what it is, except for milk. I can't drink like a gallon of milk. I could drink like half of it, no problem. But at a gallon, then we'd start running into some issues. But yeah, no, I don't think it's self-medicating. It's more of like, I guess, more boredom, but also loss of control. And I think as the drinking continues, there's like a separation as the alcohol gets into the system that you just are like, well, that's it. I'm never going to stop drinking until I fall asleep now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like self-enabling.
Yeah.
Habit, I suppose, is more than anything.
Yeah, I'm done this beer. Gotta go get another one.
It's like there's nothing, and I guess that's the danger. And I know it sounds a little bit funny of being an adult, because when you're I don't know, say a teenager or younger in some circumstances, you've got a parent or a role model or somebody telling you, look, you need to stop drinking or you need to stop taking those drugs. But when you're an adult, you don't necessarily have that unless you've got an ultra controlling partner. You know what I mean? You can do that. And I suppose that's the danger of getting into that sort of habit or routine as an adult. You haven't got anybody to tell you to stop, and you can just go and get another beer. But yeah, like you said, it's about knowing when to stop. And a lot of people, certainly with alcohol, don't, you know what I mean? And I don't know what the culture's like in the US, but certainly over here, like the drinking culture when people are out is just, people go out and they drink and drink and drink until they either they throw up and can't drink anymore, or they pass out on the street, or they end up getting in a fight. And it's just about knowing. And I've never been a massive drinker myself, but I always enjoy a drink. I know when I lived with my dad when I was about 17, just before I joined the army, I used to go up the pub with him and try and keep up with him. You know what I mean? He just sink the drinks, and that ended in like some pretty interesting stumbles home. But now I do know my limit. You know what I mean? I don't drink because I have to. I drink because I want to. You know what I mean? So I'm not out drinking because I have to, and that's a lot of it's peer pressure. I drink because I want to, and I know when to stop. You know what I mean? So that is difficult. I guess that is difficult for a lot of people when you haven't got somebody breathing down your neck, or yeah. So
yeah,
I sympathize with it.
Yeah, and I also drink really fast too. So if I'm sitting down with somebody and we're out having a beer, I can have 3 beers by the time that person has 1.
Wow.
And that's, I guess I'm really talented, and I just need to calm down and stop showing off.
Well, there's competitions for that sort of thing. You might, why?
Oh, we lost Andy.
I guess it got cold in England and everything froze. It seemed like it was going to be really good. Something about competitions with drinking and eating.
Yeah. I was going to suggest the whole hot dog eating contest thing. Nathan's.
Yeah, it's definitely not just alcohol. That's just the one that makes me feel like garbage when I wake up.
Yeah, I can imagine. I know my gluttony is definitely a lot of it's self-medication. Like it's as you know, obviously different for everybody, but yeah, moderation's not in my vocabulary. Period. Like it's just not. I mean, it has to be for some things, but there's things I can't do because I will do them to excess. You know, and for me, one of those was like video games. I was a beta tester for the original Xbox Live, and so I got in early on that thing, you know, and like squad based, you know, shooters and Madden and all that kind of stuff. And I made tons of friends around the world, and it became very clear. First of all, if I was going to finish my dissertation, I had to sell the Xbox, and then to celebrate finishing the dissertation, I bought an Xbox 360. And then I realized to save my marriage, I was probably going to have to sell the 360, which I did. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely get sucked into video games.
Right. Apologies.
Those damn dragons took out that or some drunk Brit stumbling home from the pub. Yeah,
it's definitely not. That's just me being an idiot and a jackass and not actually plugging my laptop in. I chose a random plug and put it in and just assumed it was the right one. So yeah, apologies. That it's becoming a bit of a regular occurrence. I think Todd's going to be looking for new co-host soon if it keeps happening. So,
so he didn't tell you I was actually interviewing for your replacement?
Oh really? No.
Oh no, cat's out of the bag.
Well, yeah. You can have it. No,
he'd be glad to get rid of me. He'd be glad to get rid of me.
No, not at all. Yeah. So I guess.
You were talking about eating and drinking competitions that I should enter.
Yeah, well, just as I got booted out, there's competitions for that sort of thing. Maybe use your talent to its advantage. There's a record to be broken, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and we can all hate you even more for having a world record.
That's fine.
Hate's a strong word.
Oh, yeah, it's a fine word. You can just toss it around. Whenever I do something really great for myself, I always call it a world record because it's a record that I set for myself. So there
you go.
Nice. We were having
just set one.
Completely off topic. We were having a discussion. I'm in the middle of doing an apprenticeship, believe it or not, at the ripe old age of nearly 40, and we were discussing. There was a topic came up about setting a land speed record, and I don't even know where I'm going with this, but I'm curious to see what you guys' thoughts are. So, who ratifies that world record? Is it Guinness World Records, or is there another body? I don't know. If Greg set this, what did you call it, Greg?
A world record.
A world record. Who would set that? Would it be Guinness, or is there another body in America that could set that?
No, it would be me. Because it's a
world record.
Okay, yeah.
I determine if it's a record or not.
All right, moving on. Smart ass. Two. So obviously we're all here with a common interest in it, isn't it? Is it quite normally a regular theme with guests we have? We're all into our traditional wet shaving. Have you found that obviously? When I discovered you way back, must have been about a year ago.
Yeah, you plucked me out of obscurity.
Yeah, and dumped him into the world of Instagram. Though, is that before? Obviously, I discovered you and put you on the scene. Has wet shaving always been something you're passionate about and done in the background, or is it?
Yeah, maybe the last 7 years or so,
right.
And 7 or 8 years, but I never really got into the actual hobby of buying everything until like 3 years ago, I guess 3 or 4 years ago. I had one razor, one type of soap that I used, and one brush it's a badger brush, and it's this one. I actually keep it here. Wow. It's about $7 on the internet, so it's I call it my sad badger brush because it's probably a really sad badger. And then I saw people.
Go on, sorry.
I was just gonna say I don't know how I found people posting pictures of their shave setups and stuff. I was like, that's kind of silly. I'm gonna try it.
And now, just so you know, now Greg has a video that's a tutorial about how to take great shave of the day pictures.
Bangers.
So yeah, bangers.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's your subscriber count at the last count on YouTube?
Don't
I don't want
encourage
to tell
him.
you, Andy. I don't want to tell you. Can you take it?
Hey, I can take it. I've had worse.
I just hit 2,000. I'm at like almost
Jesus.
2030. Yeah.
Wow, that's some going. Well, yeah, congratulations. I mean, I say everything in jest. You know what I mean?
I know.
I'm at a measly 600, but like for me, it was never about, and I always say it was never about the getting the most amount of subscribers. I just did it because it was something I enjoyed, and it still is really. I don't post regularly as much as I'd like to, but do you find like when you get to that number of subscribers, you feel you have to post content?
I just know myself that if I stop doing something 1 week, I will stop doing something. And I like doing it. It's a nice break from life to create these videos that I'm making and stuff. I have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
And you know, if I can push myself creatively, it takes away the monotony of my day-to-day life, or my work life, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And do you find I mean, some people may not. I mean, some people may just do the wet shaving thing. Like I know one of the guys I know lives up the road from me, Shave King on Instagram. He only has one razor. He uses I think it's the German slant, and he only has sterling soaps. And I tip my hat to him. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't do it. I probably could, but do you? So he may do it just because it's the, I don't know, it's a thing to do. You know what I mean? Like some people use a cartridge razor. Do you find that it benefits you in any way mentally with your mental health? Is it something that helps or not?
To do wet shaving or to make videos?
Well, both. The routine, really, because for me, the routine of wet shaving is something that kind of gets me in the zen. You know what I mean? It gets me in that zen zone, and certain sense.
Yeah, and I like it. I mean, it's something that it's less of a chore than it used to be. I get to take my time, unless like today, and I was actually struggling picking out like what am I going to shave with today. So I usually like to plan it the night before, like people do with clothes, or you just wear the same thing every day. That's okay too. I did that for like a month at work once.
It works for monks. I mean, monks do it every day. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Burlap sack. Yep.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. And when I did it because I learned that like Mark Zuckerberg and there's a bunch of other like really smart rich people that do it, and Homer Simpson, but it takes a break from your brain where it takes one less thought that you have to do throughout that day, that you can then take that energy and put it towards something more worthwhile. And I also wanted to see if anybody at work would notice, because when I was working in an office, nobody noticed. And so it was every day I'd be like, oh, is today the day? And it wasn't. They just didn't care about me at all. They were like, look at that bastard. He's wearing the same thing he did.
He just called himself a bastard, Andy. I just want to put that on record.
Yeah. It's on record. That's forever. It's going to be around forever. But it's like I say, some people just do it as the norm. You know what I mean? Because they shave, and that's how they prefer shaving. But I know Melly Mel kind of does it, and it has a big impact on his mental health, certain sense, and I'm probably the same. You know what I mean? But and it does break up, certainly when you're making content in the wet shaving community. It takes the monotony of life away, and when I do a video, I do look forward to doing it. You know what I mean? It's something I look forward to, but it's is it?
And I don't think I feel the pressure that a lot of the other wet shavers or wet tubers, as Mark called us a while back ago, Mantic. because I don't record a lot. I don't use a lot of shaves. I don't record or post a lot of shaves on YouTube or anything like that. If I do a Instagram reel, I'm just holding my phone and just kind of like swishing it around my face. Uh, but I know it's probably very stressful for them when they're like, I'm going to record my shave. It's going to be just perfect. If I do include any shaving video into my video that I'm making, it's typically going to be small snippets. It's the meat and potatoes isn't necessarily the shave and the quality of shave I had. It's more about what I'm talking about in the video, and I use it as like kind of backup.
Yeah. I think there's certain. Go on. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, so I get the opportunity to enjoy the shave without having to be like, somebody's gonna really ridicule me for going against the grain on my first pass.
I think I
the
find
shave police.
I have to agree that, I mean, I don't feel any pressure to post content because clearly I don't. I think the last video I posted was about a month ago, but I do find when, like, if I'm doing an Instagram live, my shave, I don't concentrate on the shave and the routine of it. I'm trying to basically incorporate other people that are watching it into that live, and I don't find that I get a very good shave, and it's a bit frustrating. So I sat there the other day trying to think, well, how can I get closer to my mirror and still get that Instagram live? Because I enjoy doing it, don't get me wrong. I enjoy
like watching it. And my goal on your lives or anybody's lives is to try and get them to laugh while they're shaving.
Yeah, if you're one of the 3 people who haven't seen Greg's videos, just so you know, like the video quality, first of all, is incredible, much like his the quality of his shot here in this. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, by the way, I just inside baseball, Greg was adjusting polar filters on his lens prior to the beginning of the podcast, just so you know, just to make us look even worse.
He's always showing off.
But also Greg's content is different in the sense that it's not a, just him shaving. He is doing content that's very different from any other, wet tuber out there, and that, his product reviews are, first of all, they're hilarious. Greg has an amazing sense of humor. His like the different angles he uses on, cameras. He's very self-deprecating, right? He doesn't take himself too serious, which is, to me, an admirable quality in anybody. And so if you haven't checked out his content, please do so, because he will make you laugh, no doubt.
Is there I suppose a particular piece of hardware or a method or a scent that does help your mental health, or just gets you chilled out, right? Because it doesn't necessarily, we always say, does it help your mental health? It doesn't have to, you know what I mean? It can just be something that chills you out and gets you like ready for bed, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know that there's a scent or a piece of hardware being the brush. I think that kind of like calms me down when I'm kind of swirling on the face. I'm just kind of getting in there, and that feels nice, and it's kind of tickles, and it's very relaxing. It's almost like those head massagers that they used to have, or they still have.
They are good. Look, Todd's looking for one. He's got one, look.
Yeah, that's the one.
That thing.
You can't, if you're not watching the video version, Todd is gonna do some ASMR on his
That's right, on a microphone.
Ooh.
New channel ideas.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. You know, I mean, some people don't get anything other than the shave from it, and I mean, I do enjoy using like specific razors. Like I love using my Rex Ambassador. You know what I mean? I love using the Phoenix brushes, but everybody gets something from it. You know what I mean? Different. I don't think there's many people, traditional wet shavers anyway, that do it instead of like using a cartridge. Like the whole thing about it's cheaper and it's better for the environment, it is a valid point. It is, if you can contain yourself and only have one razor and one soap. But I think most people, traditional wet shavers that do it for the hobby side of it more than anything.
Yeah. And, I did it for 6 years without really getting into buying a bunch of gunk and stuff, or, not junk or anything, just like getting into that hobby. And I was pretty proud of myself because usually if I pick up a hobby, I'm all in. I'll buy a brand new set of Titleist golf clubs if I think I might go golfing, like, I think that's also ties back to every other type of thing that we talked about earlier with like, my excessive, I need to consume.
Right.
I think it's part of that too.
Go big or go home.
Yeah. And but yeah, it doesn't, I don't think it has to contribute to your mental health, but it definitely gives you a break from the things that are going around you. I think you guys talked about it the last time with John, where it was, this is your space at this point. Once you close that door, flip that faucet on, this is my world now, And I think it's nice to have that, especially, I'm sure, Andy, with having 3 kids in your house, I'm sure that is a nice little break to have, even if it's in your tiny bathroom that you called.
Yeah,
but it makes you look like a mountain when you're in there. How tall are you?
I am 6'5", so I am a big old unit. But yeah, we do have a main bathroom, but like the sink's cracked in it, and I don't really want to use like that. Ideally, I'd like to use that bathroom, but I can't make it my own. You see some guys' channels, they have like their dens are like their dens. Nobody else goes in there like.
Oh yeah.
And I'd love to be able to do that, but it's just when you've got a family, like being a family man, you just don't have that luxury. You know what I mean? Because the kids would go in and they'd rip stuff off the wall. They wouldn't rip it off the wall. Don't get me wrong, my kids aren't feral. You know what I mean? They're not going to go. they don't go around ripping everything off the wall, but they're curious. You know what I mean? And they're young. And whereas some of the guys that have established channels, they're kind of older. The kids have grown up. They can have that space. But yeah, I shave in my little nook, and it is a little bit frustrating, but we work with what we got. I mean, we can't all have palatial shaved ends, but
yeah, I'm gonna be the standard, Debbie Downer that I am on this show and other places. But I've found that like for me, the gluttony for myself can extend to the hobby, and they can reach a point where it takes away the joy for me. You know what I mean? And I've actually found times when I've like sort of reined myself in and said, okay, no purchases for a while. And also like not intentionally, but I'm a bit of a shaving video hiatus, not by design, but just by default. And I've not enjoyed shaving this much in probably 2 years because I'm not thinking about that, right? I'm just enjoying the shaves. And I've just seen, if you've ever seen the videos on my channel, I have one where I interview a guy who basically, nearly lost his marriage over like buying too much shaving gear. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me about that, just about trying to control like you said, like, buying everything with the hobby. Like, I tend to be that kind of person. If I'm going to get into a hobby, it's like deep dive, like everything that's involved, and for me, that's been a challenge. It's like, okay, how do I slow down on, purchasing shave stuff? Why am I doing this? Why do I feel the need to borrow a Pokemon phrase, catch them all? Like, why do I feel the need to go out there and try to get all the things, right? So again, we've talked about it before, but the whole FOMO thing, the fear of missing out, I think is a big deal.
I've done pretty good with the soaps and stuff, with stepping back and just picking out the scents that I want or like. I'm at a point where I don't necessarily need any more. I think I'm probably good for the rest of my life. So I have slowed down my purchasing a lot, which I'm proud of myself for. I'll probably buy something to celebrate that. But no, I think, there is some times that you do have to treat yourself, and that's coming from a guy that's a glutton, so it just kind of like goes too hard on things. So, but yeah, I think there is a second where you should step back and say, I deserve this.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. And I think we've mentioned it before, Todd, the whole unboxing videos, I think sometimes they're a little bit too much. They're a little bit in your face, and people aren't as fortunate and can't afford to buy every new soap. I wouldn't say it puts them off, but you've got to think about how when it affects other people. I mean, an unboxing video when you've got like a massive home moving box full of new shave gear. I mean, I do it. I'm like, fuck, that's like that. How has that person got all that stuff? And I went through a phase like when early on with my channel and trying to get every like new soap and every, not necessarily razors, but it just got ridiculous. I mean, and then I've changed how I do things. Like now I try and make my videos a more of a structured review rather than just shaving and talking about how like Donna fell down a well and couldn't, like, I mean, it's and that's fine. That's what people do. You know what I mean?
Who is Donna, and why did you push her down the well?
It's just a hypothetical scenario. Like, I mean, some people like shave for like 25, 30 minutes on camera, and they talk about anything and everything, and it's just kind of well.
And I think when you watch videos like that, they're also, I think those are people that are going through stuff and they're processing things, even minuscule or big. It doesn't matter. This is a good way for them to kind of share without having.
No, 100%.
They feel like there's less fault at that point, as opposed to like talking to somebody face to face.
It really is a weird phenomenon to me. Like that's why I think. And when I say weird, I don't mean in a bad sense. I mean it's unique in that. That's what's amazed me about this. You know, I'm gonna pull out my professor hat here. But it amazes me like that something like this where men have like a sharp object in their hand, shuts off a part of the brain that censors when they normally wouldn't talk about stuff. And here they are talking about these things they're going through they normally wouldn't talk about. I had someone who listens to the podcast who sent me a video that they were thinking about posting, but didn't know if they should or not, because they went into some really personal issues in the video. And I said, I encouraged him to post it, because I said, I think your viewers will appreciate seeing that part of your life and knowing about that and be encouraged by it, by the own things they're going through. That is something about that particular genre of shaving video where people are just talking as they shave, because I do think that it switches off something in the brain where they're not censoring themselves, and they will talk about stuff related to men's mental health that they normally wouldn't talk about. And that's incredibly beautiful. If you don't mind, I use that term. I think it's amazing. And so I think, for me, part of, as I've said over and over about this hobby, it's not just the experience of it, but also the friends I've made through content creation and people commenting on videos, and it's a really supportive, community. And I think that's one of the nice, byproducts of it. But yeah, one of the, telltale signs for me that I have too much shaving stuff is that paralysis of analysis that Greg kind of referred to, and that, what am I using today? And I find myself sometimes taking more than 30 seconds to decide what am I using today. And I'm like, this is insane. Like, so that when it gets to be it's cutting into shave time when I'm having to decide what to use. So, but yeah.
Now you two have made me sound like they're like the shaving Grinch, that people shouldn't do what they do.
Andy the ass hat. That's what they'll call you.
Probably. I'm sure there are people out there. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that don't like what I do, but hey, that is it. That's the beauty of content creation.
It's the soul patch, if anything. I'm just kidding.
I think that's evolving. I think that's an ever evolving thing. Like Andy's facial hair is evolving.
Yeah. I mean,
it'd be funny if you just if it moved around your face every once in a while.
Middle of the cheek. Yeah.
Hey, well, shots fired, Greg. Shots fired. Right. Should we move on, Todd?
Yeah. So some just quick fire questions. You don't have to, spend as much time or little time as you want to on these, because we got to move on to the quiz that Andy has designed to torture you and I with, Greg. So just 4 topics here, and just going to throw out the topic and basically say, hey, what's been the biggest challenge in your life related to this particular area? And then what's like a tip you would have about that particular area of your life that's helped, things work better. So let's start with marriage. Biggest challenge, being a married man, and what works for you? Like, what's a tip you would have about being married?
married. I don't know. Communication is the hardest thing for me. Like if I want to buy something new, it's easier for me to buy it and be like, oh yeah, I bought this.
So asking for forgiveness rather than permission.
Than communicating that I'm interested in buying it, because she's cheap, and I mean,
like
she's frugal.
what,
She's very, very careful with her money. If it was George Costanza.
What Mel said on the last episode, that whenever he buys something, he'll buy something for his wife as well. So that's always an option.
Yeah, and I think my tip is to like try to have the conversation, or if you share like an Amazon wish list with her, just kind of throw it on there and see if she brings it up. If you're too, like I don't want to talk to her about it. So if she brings it up, like, oh, I saw you added this to the wish list. What the heck you want to do with that? You already have 6 of those. Yeah, but 7 is a good number. So, but she actually does help with making sure that I'm staying in line with what I can and can't, or should or shouldn't, because can and can't have really gone out the window for most accessible things in life for me, which is a huge difference from back in the day. And now it's more of like should or shouldn't. And so trying to figure out a way to have that conversation with her is what I'm currently working on.
Yeah. Okay.
Without being scared.
Yeah. Signs that the 3 people on a podcast may have shaving problems is that when you ask them about marriage, they turn it into a wet shaving question. Okay, moving on. So parenting, biggest challenge as a parent, and maybe a tip you have for parenting.
Biggest challenge, sometimes I feel like I'm manipulating my kid into doing stuff, and then I feel bad, but when she does it, I feel better. What I tried to manipulate her into doing.
Like bribery? Like
that's what it sounds like, doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, okay, so like if we were about to eat dinner, that's me reminding Andy that he's got food in the oven.
Oh.
Paying attention.
Such a thoughtful servant of the community.
Yeah. Quite the bastard I am, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
So like if we're deciding on what we're going to have for dinner, I know exactly how her brain is working. And so I'm going to ask her questions that I already know the answer to, right? So if I want to have hot dogs, which is pretty much every night, I'll say, do you want hot dogs or do you want boxed mac and cheese? And she'll say, oh, hot dogs, because I sounded all excited when I said it. It's kind of not going to compare it to my dog, but I could, because if you have the excitement in the voice for the thing that you want, you're kind of like, I don't know, doing like a mind trick on her.
Now I want to slice up some hot dogs and put them in mac and cheese is what I want to do.
That's a good move too.
Yeah.
I recommend that. Or hot dog, right? Bun, mac and cheese on top. Come on, son.
Yes.
That sounds pretty good.
Maybe some bacon bits on top.
Oh. So your tip would be use different voice inflections in order to control and manipulate your children. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, yeah. So my issue is that I'm manipulating her, but it works. So manipulate your kids.
I mean, I was expecting us to go down the route of, well, yeah, I try and manipulate her into having like food, but it's different types of food and getting her to try it. But it sounds like you're manipulating it for your benefit.
Exactly. That's why I feel bad. But
yeah, I also thought it was going to be about broccoli and vegetables, but it was about boxed mac and cheese and hot dogs. So
yeah, I'm not a fruit or veggie kind of guy, but she loves fruit and veggies, so I don't even have to fight with her. She prefers veggie straws over French fries. So
it's just so that our viewers don't think that Greg might not make parenting a priority in his life. The layer he's currently coming from, if you watch his other channel, his vlog channel, which I highly would recommend to you all, this is a shared playroom with his children, if I'm not mistaken, where he is. They have some like toddler toys down there.
Yeah, I'm in my basement bar, so this is my space, and then 90% of the basement is dedicated to her and playing and having fun.
Yeah, just Greg's a good dad. All right, so work-life balance.
So before I work where I currently work, I used to sell cars, and there was no work-life balance. And I had to get out of that because I was working 80 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and started working for the company that I work for now. And that has been super beneficial to work-life balance. And I haven't looked back. They've given us Fridays off this summer, which is pretty tight. So, yeah, no, I'm really good at my work-life balance. If you have time off and they give you time off, take the time off.
Mm-hmm.
You got to use it, and it's not use it or lose it, but it's more like they can't fault you for using it.
Did you use?
I know some people.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say I just know people that struggle with using the time off that they have. Obviously, if you're doing a crappy job at work, try to get better. But if you need a day off, you should take a day off.
Yeah. The life of a car dealer, that's a cutthroat, like grinding kind of existence. So did you use voice inflection to manipulate potential buyers of vehicles when you were talking about?
It's been a while, but I mean,
possibly,
probably,
Yeah.
if you're on the phone with somebody and you're not smiling on the phone, they think you're sad. So if you are smiling on a phone, they can hear you smile.
Okay, so that never happened in person, is what you're saying. Okay, and so final question before you mop the floor with me on whatever trivia thing that Andy's designed. Do you think you use humor to deflect serious questions, Greg Tardif? Do you think that's something you do?
I hadn't noticed, but yeah, probably. I do like to circle back to the question itself, but I think it adds some padding to myself to make a little tiny joke. And I don't know if that's beneficial to anybody, so I apologize.
No, it is. I think it's we all have to have ways to cope, and I assume that humor is beneficial to you and also those around you. I assume that you're a funny guy, not just in video, but also in person. And I'm sure
makes up for this.
You're a beautiful man, Greg Tardif. Don't discount yourself there at all.
I'm a strong 10, a 7.
Is that metric or English? Anyway, go ahead. Torture us, Andy.
Well, I was going to say in approximately 5, 4, 3, 2,
Do I need a pen?
1. You may hear my timer. That is the timer for the quiz.
Food in the oven.
No, it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's the timer for the food. So I'm going to be very rude, and I'm going to go and take it out the oven because it'll burn, and I'll be very angry. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave you with my background, which is some free advertising and marketing for Apocalypse Grooming. So talk amongst yourselves and enjoy the background for 2 minutes, and I'll be right back.
I think it's pronounced advertisements. I hate it.
Like the question answer is not finished, and one of us pushes on and does the next one. Oh no, that was terrifying.
Just so you know, I could hear everything you were saying.
Did you hear him? Say that it's not an advertisement; it's an advertisement.
He said that the quiz would be easy. That's all I heard him say.
Oh, okay.
I think I also said schedule for your benefit.
Schedule, advertisement,
aluminum,
garage,
color.
Well, the way you guys spell
say
it,
on
coal
like
hour.
So when we say we stand in a line, you say that you're in a queue or on queue, or what do you say about
we join the queue.
Join the queue.
If there's a queue, you go and join it. It doesn't matter what it's for. You don't know. It may be the queue to jump off a cliff, but you go and join it. That's just a British thing to do.
It's good British.
And you don't moan about it. You join it.
You guys are so inclusive.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to this week's quiz, and we've got a good one this week. And I was racking my brains about what I could pull together, and because my son, he's just turned 4, he's crazy about dinosaurs. I thought, well, I fancy putting a quiz together on dinosaurs, but I discounted that one, and I went with a quiz all about the 80s because I don't know how old you are, Greg. I think you may be a similar age to me.
I'm probably younger.
Really?
I don't know. How old are
Sure.
you?
How old am I? I'm nearly 40.
You said you're close to 40, so you're
Yeah, nearly
38 or
40.
39.
Yeah, 39. Yeah.
Were you born in '86, Greg Tardif?
86? That's me.
Yeah. Well, I
No,
got that
there you
from
go.
your Instagram handle, so I guess.
Yeah.
So there you go. So you are an 80s baby, and obviously Todd's what, coming up 42. So yeah.
Oh, I wish. Yeah.
But yeah, Todd was around in the 80s. You know
I
what
was.
mean?
I was alive in the '80s. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, so you should both do well on this. Right, so 10 questions. Have you both got something to write your answers down with, either virtually or paper and pen? Nice.
Yeah, I like to imaginarily write, so
that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. See how? Yeah, well, let's see how you do. So 10 questions. There's a point for each question. There's a bonus question at the end as well. So let's go. First question, all about the 80s. Name one of the 2 best-selling video games of the 80s. Don't shout out. Write your answer down. So name one of the 2 best-selling video games of the 80s. Excuse me. Question 2. Which comet appeared in 1986 and will next appear in mid-2061? I'm not sure that is correct, but that's what it said. Question 3, in 1986, the year Greg Tardif was born, who became the youngest boxing heavyweight champion in history at the age of 20? That was question 3. Question 4, which brand of sunglasses were popular in the 80s or made popular in the 80s due to the film Top Gun, starring my friend Tom Cruise, who actually follows me on Twitter. And it is the real Tom Cruise with the blue tick. So yeah. There you go.
Wow.
Quite. I know. I also have the female voice of Siri, or the original female voice of Siri. She follows me. I'm kind of a big deal on Twitter, you know. It's
it explains a lot about those people.
Well, or does it explain something about me? Who knows? Anyway, question 5. Which actor played Beetlejuice in the 1988 film of the same name? Question 6. Which classic 1985 film featured a group of young misfits on an adventure to find a pirate's treasure? Question 7. In 1986, again, the year Greg Tardif was born, Cliff Burton died in a bus crash while on tour with which band? Well-known band. Very well-known band. That was question 7. Question 8. Pan Am Flight 103 was blown up over which village in Scotland in 1988?
Can you repeat that
9.
one? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that one?
I certainly can, Todd. Yeah. The Pan Am Flight 103 was blown up over which village in Scotland in 1988?
Can you give me a name of a town in Scotland that I can write down?
Edinburgh. Dalbeattie. Kirkcaldy. Question 9. Who was elected US president in 1980? Question 10, the final question. The bonus question Star Wars related, but this is kind of Star Wars related in a roundabout way. Which actor played Willow in the 1988 film of the same name? And the bonus question related to that question, in The Rise of Skywalker. Well, I've kind of messed up here because in that bonus question, I've given you the answer to the previous question. So I'm going to rephrase this.
Should we do the bonus question when we get to number 10?
Oh, well, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Right. Yeah. Shut up, Greg. Right.
I think I passed the interview, Todd.
I think you've won.
Right. Come on then. Right. Let's go. Question 1. Name one of the 2 best-selling video games of the 80s.
Can I get a clarification before we give our answer? Are we talking about the actual games or the game consoles?
The games. So the games that you play. So
all right.
There's two choices there. Todd. In fact, Greg, you're the guest, so you can go first. You got
Mario.
anything?
Super
Mario
Mario World.
Okay. Todd.
I said Pac-Man.
Pac-Man was 78.
Yeah, I was going to say Pac-Man's probably a bit earlier. So you could have had Tetris or Super Mario. So yeah, that's a point for Mr. Tardif.
Good.
Okay, question number 2. Which comet appeared in 1986 and will next appear in the mid-2061, believe it or not?
Halley's Comet?
Halley's Comet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's Halley's Comet.
Correct. Yeah. So
I named my daughter after that.
Really? I'm not convinced that it won't appear again until 2061.
Do you want to guess what my daughter's name is?
Not Halley's
Halley
Comet?
Haley Tardif?
Haley, yeah.
Wow. I knew there was a reason I put that question in.
It'd be like a Frank Zappa thing, like Moon Unit and Dweezil and Comet.
Yeah. I'm not that cool.
Okay.
Just on the internet.
Right. Question 3. In 1986, who became the youngest boxing heavyweight champion in history, age 20? Todd?
That would be Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. Greg?
Pele.
Haley.
Yeah, he plays soccer too, right?
Pele. Yeah,
I've heard it both ways.
You don't have to drag it out. It's Pele, not Pele.
Pele.
No, it's certainly
I
not
will
Pele.
die on that hill.
That's a point to Mr. Stanfield. So that's 2 points each. Right, question 4. Which brand of sunglasses were popular in the 80s due to the film Top Gun? Greg?
I put Ray-Ban.
Ray-Bans.
Correct. It was. You're right. Correct. Have you either of you seen the new Top Gun movie?
I have not. I went and saw Jurassic Park World Dominion instead.
Yeah.
Because my daughter wanted to see that.
I think I'm on. I've seen Top Gun twice. I'd highly recommend it. Even if you're not a fan of the first one, I'd recommend going to see it.
Well, that was part of your agreement with being followed by Tom Cruise. You got to see every movie he comes out with twice.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and he invites me over to his house once a year. So, So Top Gun. It's Ray-Bans. Question 5: which actor played Beetlejuice in the 1988 film of the same name?
Michael Keaton. Oh, sorry. Todd, you go first.
Yeah, it's Michael Keaton.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it is now. Question 4. 5. No, that's 4 points each. You guys. Question 6. Which classic 1980 film featured a group of young misfits on an adventure to find a pirate's long-lost treasure? Go on, Greg. You go first.
Goonies.
Yeah. Goonies. Yeah, it is correct. Goonies is such a good film.
Ruth.
Hey, you guys. Baby Ruth.
Yep.
Sloth. Everyone knows Sloth. I have to say that Chunk is my favorite character. You know, Chunk is actually a lawyer now.
Ah.
He's a lawyer. He's a partner in a law firm.
Does he follow you on Twitter?
No. He's not cool enough for that.
Tight.
So we're on 5 each. Question 7. In 1986, Cliff Burton died in a bus crash while on tour with which band? Todd?
It would be Metallica.
Greg?
Oh, I wrote Leonard Skinner.
No, it is Metallica. Congratulations, Todd. So that's a point to you. In question 8, Pan Am Flight 103 was blown up over which village in Scotland in 1988? What are you saying, Greg?
I wrote down Edinburgh.
No, it's not. Todd, any guesses? Any?
Yeah, Lockerbie.
Lockerbie, correct. It is Lockerbie. question 9. Who was elected US president in 1980?
That would be Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan, it is. Greg, you're looking.
You didn't let me answer. I wrote Reagan and then I crossed it out. I was like, nah, it's George Bush. It was a trick question, but it was a trick question. Because
It wasn't. It was. Yeah. So that's another point to Todd. So, I mean, Greg, what's your answer?
I said George. I know it's Reagan now.
Well, that's fine. We'll go with that. We're feeling generous.
No, that's not fair because I crossed it out and wrote George Bush.
All right. Well, then I'll take that point away from you. That's fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, question 10, last question. So, Greg, you're on 5 points. Todd, you're on 5, 6,
7,
8. No, 8.
Wow.
Yeah. Question 10. Which actor played Willow in the 1988 film of the same name?
I wrote down Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher. Okay. Todd?
It's Warwick Davis.
It is Warwick Davis, the little man himself.
Also played Wicket in
He
Return
did.
of the Jedi.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads me on to the bonus question. So, in The Rise of Skywalker, what character did Warwick play?
Oh, you need the name of the character, huh?
The character's name, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Greg.
I have no idea.
No idea? Okay.
I saw Rise of Skywalker 3-4 years ago now, or whenever it first came out.
You don't remember every character 3 or 4
Nope.
years ago? No. Right, okay. That's fine.
Not
No, I
after
don't.
all the Doc McStuffins I watched.
I don't know.
Well,
answer.
it's actually Wicket W. Warwick. It's the Ewok. I don't know in which
Oh.
scene, but yeah.
I was gonna
There's-
say Ewok, son of a gun.
Yeah, so anybody that's I guess is a fan of Star Wars knows Warwick for being Wicket, but he's played quite a few droids, believe it or not. I had it in my head for some reason that he played R2D2, but it wasn't. It was Kenny Baker, wasn't it, originally?
Kenny Baker, yeah.
Um,
And they're coming out with the Willow series.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
I look forward to that. I'm a big fan of it, and believe it or not, I think Val Kilmer's in it, coming back as Mad Mardigan. I don't think it's actually.
He's starting to use his AI voice now, right?
That's true. That's it. They're using him as like I don't know what they call it, but it's basically using historical voice.
Yeah, well, no, he has a voice box in his neck now
Okay.
that replicates his actual voice, or what
Oh,
it
really?
used to sound like. Yeah,
Oh wow, that's cool.
I read
Didn't know
about that after I watched the documentary,
Oh, nice.
which was really interesting. If you've seen Val, that's a cool movie.
Oh, I might have to. Yeah, I'll have to watch that. Is it on Netflix?
It's on Amazon over here.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have a look at that. But yeah, so anyway, more importantly, the winner of this week's quiz is Todd on 9 points. So Todd, well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Greg,
good
you
job,
finished
Todd.
on 5. That's a respectable score.
Yeah, it's better than what you guys did with John. So
It's true. It's true. So yeah, I guess let's wrap it up there. So hey, it's been an enjoyable episode. I have to admit it. It's been it's fun having you on, Greg, and thanks for coming on.
was that written down? Were you told to say that?
No. It says, and I'll show you on my incredibly large show notes. You probably can't see it because they're white. I don't know why it printed off in A3, but it did. It actually says, it just says wrap up 5 minutes. So,
Well,
yeah.
I appreciate you having me on. I had to pester you guys for months and almost a year, I think, to get on here.
Did you
And,
did you put the check in the mail as we instructed? That happened.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's all that matters.
I stapled it to a badger, and I hope it makes it down there.
There you go. A sad badger.
No, this one's a happy badger. It's got a
Happy
check
badger?
on it.
Okay.
Nice. I expect to see him presently. I mean, all our post in the UK is delivered by badgers anyway, so that's nothing unusual.
Yeah. Well, because dragons don't like badgers. That's why.
No, exactly.
So they don't even try to eat 'em.
So they keep that dragons don't come anywhere near the houses. So yeah, there's a method behind the madness.
It's just science.
Exactly. And badgers can't talk, so they don't back chat. If your post is bent or missing, they have to just go and deal with it. But yeah, anyway, in all seriousness, yeah, it is good having you on, and thank you for coming on. If you don't follow Greg already, please do. As Todd said, his content is pretty much second to none, if we're honest, and we don't want to blow smoke up your ass too much, but hey, it is. So yeah, you can find Greg on Instagram. His name is G Tardif 86. He was born in 86. And YouTube is Shaving with Greg Tardif. So yeah, please go and follow Greg on those platforms. Quick reminder of the giveaway. All you have to do is just comment "I'm in" on any of our platforms. Obviously, we've got the giveaway, the gift card from the Razor Company, Crown and Cane, some company called Apocalypse Grooming in the UK.
We saw an ad for them earlier.
Really? Oh well, the word's spreading. The good word of the good Lord, Apocalypse Grooming. Yeah. So, and the HC&C stuff as well for the UK and the rest of the world. So yeah, all you have to do is comment "I'm in." But yeah, Todd.
Am I in because I said I'm in on the podcast?
Yeah,
does that count or no?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I think it does.
We'll go with that. It's looking.
It depends on whether the check arrives. If the badge arrives with a check, possibly.
Yeah, that's a good way to enter a giveaway that you might not win is payola, right?
That works always. Always. So as always, you can find everything you need over at takecareman.com related to podcast. If you click on podcast, you'll find this episode and others along with the show notes. So all the links and resources that you need there. You can click on help at the same website for helpful resources, including how to find a therapist or different helplines that are out there. And then a way to get help in terms of support through just, talking with others on discussion boards and possibly being part of video hangouts. You can click on group over at takecareman.com to get into the Discord server. And then finally, if you'd like to help support the show in terms of just our operating costs for server space and web hosting and all that kind of stuff, you can go to takecareman.com and click on donate and do a reoccurring Patreon donation or a one-time donation to the show.
And I imagine if enough people do donate, we could maybe get the quality of the quizzes really good. The standard could be good. We could pay somebody to do the quizzes for us. Right. So
we could just contract that out,
like a quiz master.
Exactly.
A troll under a bridge or something.
Yeah, you've got there's a lot of those in the UK.
Yeah,
there is. You can't walk over a wooden bridge because under the wooden bridge is the troll.
You gotta pay the troll toll.
No, the troll just eats you. There's no toll. It just eats you.
It's a tough world out there.
I thought the Black Knight guarded the bridge. No.
No. That's only in Somerset.
Okay.
And yeah, he's not as bad as he makes out. I've beaten him once.
He's a resilient.
It was just a flesh wound, right?
Yeah,
it's true. It's true. Yeah. Look, I mean, in all seriousness, it's been a great episode. I've enjoyed it, and apologies it's taken so long to get you on, but yeah, we'll put links obviously to where you can get help, because this is ultimately what the podcast is about: is getting people to open up about mental health and getting the support you need. We'll put links on in the UK on Podbean and on the Instagram, on the YouTube account, and then obviously Todd will link the US helplines via the website. So yeah, I guess all that's left to say is Greg Tardif, thank you. This has been your life.
This is it. I've peaked.
But yeah, have a great weekend, guys, and we'll catch up soon.
Everybody.
Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.